Welcome back, baseball family. This is the time where we get into all things playoff related. There's 7 games left in the season. As of this very moment, it'll be a little bit different by Tuesday morning when you're listening to this, but this is the situation going after the weekend. Okay. First, really quick, I wanted to let you know that if you dig what we're doing here and you want to find another way to support us, obviously we've given you 2 or 3 options already, but if you want more, we do have a Patreon set up, and it is one of the best ways to support us. You go to patreon.com and search for Baseball Together, and we will come up. Starting as low as $1 a month, you can support us in doing this thing. We cannot do it without you. We can't do it without your listenership and your support and your subscriptions on YouTube and different things like that. But for as little as $1 a month, you can support us in this. And we have different tiers of support: 1, 5, 10, 15, and an even $500 tier of support, which Brad, in his totally in his wisdom, and knowledge,
My wisdomousness.
continues to add perks to the $500 Hall of Fame tier. So jump in there.
The
And
legend. That's the legend tier, Brig.
the
The
legend,
legend.
yeah, the legend one. Yeah. Jump in there. See, it's even outside my frame of reference. I'm like, I don't understand. Anyway, you can check us out on Patreon and jump in and support us. It goes a long way. We've got some projects we want to get off the ground. So, all right, let's check in on the playoff races, because right now that's all that matters. Right meow. Right meow.
Right, meow.
As
It
Brad
is.
says. Okay. So how things look going into Monday. 6 or 7 games left in the season, depending on your team. The Orioles are now up on the Rays by 2.5 games. In the AL East, the magic number has moved to 6. The Twins have clinched the AL Central, and they will host the wild card series in Minnesota.
That,
Twins.
I was looking at that, Brig, and there is 4 games separating them and Texas right now as far as the 2 seed.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen, but if the Rangers were to absolutely met the bed in the next week, the Twins could potentially work their way into a bye. I don't think it'll happen, especially since they
Right.
went ahead and had that hangover game, called it, on
Yeah,
Saturday.
you did. Yeah.
But, there is still a chance for them to get a first round bye. Like I said, probably not going to happen, but there's a chance there.
Yeah. Good point. Very good point. And then the Rangers are currently up on the Astros by 2.5 and the Mariners by 3. The Rangers' magic number is now 7. In case you weren't paying attention, that's how many games are left in the season. It's going to come right down to the final game of the season in the West. So keep an eye out for that. We will be glued to the
Doesn't seem
television.
right. Hold on, let me
Do the magic number thing. I'll keep going. The Brewers have clinched a playoff spot. Their magic number is 1 to then take the NL Central. So just in case it's confusing, they have guaranteed themselves a slot in the playoffs, but they have not yet clinched the division. So they still have one game, one way or the other, to get there, and that very well might happen by the time Monday night rolls around. So the Braves have clinched the NL East, super duh. The Dodgers have clinched the NL West, super duh. Okay, let's get into the wild card situation. The American League first, okay? It's 5, not 7. Rangers' magic number is 5, not 7. Okay, wild card in the American League. The Rays sit atop by 9.5 games. It's theirs. Unless something crazy happens in the AL East and they suddenly take over for Baltimore, which is possible.
2.5
Then,
games. It could.
yeah, it's possible. Then, as we stated on Thursday, and I think even the week before, the Baltimore would slide into that number 1 wild card seed, and by however many games, it's the same as this, 9.5, whatever.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays are up 2 games, and they are in that number 2 slot. The Astros are setting the bar at even; they're at 0. The Mariners are 1/2 game back in the American League wild card. They are that 4th hoping to get in slot. The Mariners are hosting the Astros for 3 games starting Monday.
Yeah,
So
big old series. I think the Mariners have to sweep that to have a chance to get in.
yeah,
They're gonna have to.
I think you're right. So if the season ended today, the wild card would be Tampa Bay, Toronto, Houston. Okay, then let's move over to the National League. The Phillies are at the top by all of the games. They are just all of the games.
They are by all the games. Let me get your number, Brig.
Thanks. It's Brad.
That's my bad.
Brad didn't give me a number. Checking really quick. It's 5.
Five,
it's 5
games.
games.
5 games. Yeah.
Phillies are at the top by 5 games. The D-backs sit in second place at 1/2 a game. The Cubs hold up the bar at even at 0. The Marlins are -1, so they're 1 game behind. The Reds are only 2.5 games back. There's lots of times to still make this up. This is very, very close. And technically, the Phillies could just totally take a dive, and this would change things up even further.
Yeah,
they're not going
really well
to
right now.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but mathematically, that's possible.
Yeah.
So if the season ended today, the wild card in the National League would be Philadelphia, Arizona, and Chicago Northside on the Cubs. Marlins and Reds would be excluded. The Giants are 5 games back.
Pretty
so
much.
If you want to talk math, if you want to talk math, they're still capable of riding into that storm. I don't feel confident about it, but I've been wrong before. I just don't feel like, with all those other teams in the way, the combination of wins and losses required for San Francisco to make it into the top 3 of that, it just feels insurmountable.
Yeah.
So
especially with the Phillies playing really well right now. The D-backs have gotten back to playing really well. And the Cubs, despite the recent dive, they got the Rockies this last weekend. And, who knows what their confidence will be like going the rest of this last week. So,
it'll be interesting.
It will be fascinating.
So we're paying very close attention, and we recommend you do as well. And if you don't, just jump in to the live broadcast on Thursday night, and we'll tell you what happened, where to go. Okay, magic numbers to clinch various positions in the American League. The Rays have now clinched a playoff spot. The Blue Jays are at 5. The Astros are at 7 to clinch a playoff spot. The Phillies are at 1. The D-backs are at 6. The Cubs are at 6. As their magic.
The Cubs and the D-backs have the same number of losses.
Yeah.
Their difference is in their wins because of the number of games they played.
Correct. So. And for those of you that might wonder, like, wait a minute, it's makeup games and rain delays and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so actually the Yankees and the Diamondbacks they played. I mean, by the time this comes out, they will have played on Monday, and then their game Monday was bumped to Thursday to make up for that, to help remedy that situation. And I wonder if they built in, because there's only 4 games. There were only 4 games on Monday. Was I don't know. It depends on when you're listening. Anyway, on Monday, and so I wonder if they built that day so they could bump rainouts from this weekend. And then I wonder if those teams have a day built in later in the week just in case something like that happened. But like the Mariners and Astros playing stadiums with retractable roofs, same thing with Texas.
Right.
No days off, right? So I wonder if that was all taken into account when building this last week of the season to make sure they get everything in. But there are certain teams and matchups that's not going to be a problem.
Agreed.
Hence why everybody needs a retractable roof on their stadium.
You keep your garbage to yourself there, sir.
I will not. I absolutely will not.
Okay. So because there's a handful of ballparks you're not allowed to mess with. That's all I'm asking.
No, I agree with that. But when those are eventually someday gone, they will.
When
they
the time comes,
with a stadium with a retractable roof.
Just don't do anything to accelerate.
Unless you're like the Rays and you're just like, let's just keep it indoors.
Yeah.
Just keep it all indoors.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.